Rhoda Bergados loves her River North tobacco shop.
It's the best place. Where can you meet 100 good-looking men with money every day?
But she's not in love with the new measure passed by Illinois lawmakers, which will increase the state cigarette tax by $1 per pack.
It's just a shame that they have to tax cigarettes again, as opposed to taxing a candy bar or a can of pop.
Bergados has owned the shop for 13 years. It sells tobacco products of different categories, including many upscale cigarettes. She says she doesn't worry about the sales for those products being affected by the tax increase.
It'll just hurt the people that smoke the Marlboros and the Newports.
For smokers, the impact is imminent.
It's definitely going to take a little bit more out of my pocket, which is always frustrating.
I used to buy a pack per day, so now I may have to think about it.
At the end of the day, they're the lawmakers, so it's whatever.
Illinois lawmakers say the tax increase on cigarettes will bring hundreds of millions of dollars to the state's Medicaid program, and health professionals say there are other benefits as well.
We do support the cigarette tax. We estimate that this tax alone will encourage about 77,000 children to never start smoking and encourage about 60,000 adults to quit. And that's over the lifetime of the tax, and that's absolutely worth it.
This is already on some smokers' mind.
I mean, considering quitting as soon as I finish school, and I'm about to get there, and if it's going up more now, then that should be the final say for me.
Some smokers say they will consider going to neighboring states to buy cigarettes if the tax hike goes into effect. Qixin Wang, Northwestern News Network. For many West Side residents, summer at Humboldt Park Beach is always a treat.
It's a family tradition. Humboldt Park Beach has been here for, I can't remember, since I was a little kid.
A lot of families, almost entirely families. It really is a beach for littler kids because it doesn't, the depth, it takes a while to get very deep, and so kids can walk very far. Plus they have lifeguards who have been really great.
Morgan Hosted and Jonathan Siegelman say they always take their kids to the beach, but this may not be an option this year.
Yeah, it actually was one of the last things he was telling us about. There's a whole bunch of other things that he was telling us about that which is mostly boring, and then all of a sudden he's like, yeah, and they're also talking about closing the beach next this year. It's not going to open. And we're like, wait a second, hold on. Everything else was boring, but this is kind of this is new to us.
The Park District says the high cost of maintaining this beach is a big reason why they're considering to close it for the summer. But 26th Ward Alderman Roberto Maldonado is fighting to keep it open. Residents say the city should not put a price tag on what the beach means to their community.
To be frank, I've lived here for 9 years, didn't use this for 7 years. When I had a baby, it suddenly became the most important thing ever.
The Park District says nothing has been finalized yet and don't know when the water will be filled into the lagoon. Residents say they have sent a petition to the city to protest the proposed closing. Qixin Wang, Northwestern News Network. For Northwestern University librarian Elizabeth Adamchak, biking is not just for fun, it's how she gets to work.
I just find that living on the north side of Chicago, kind of in between both campuses, is just so much more convenient and easier to get around by bike. It actually shortens my commute than taking CTA or even driving and parking.
She's not alone. With gas prices remaining at more than $4 per gallon, still the highest among the nation, more and more daily commuters in Chicago are switching from 4 wheels to 2.
I used to drive my car more often. Now I try not to because of the prices. And not only the prices, I mean, it's also, you need to pay for like repairments and stuff like that. I mean, it's crazy, even like parking.
Art Gilfin says he owns 3 bikes for different purposes. It takes him less than half an hour to ride from his Lakeview home to his downtown office every morning.
I can go weeks, plural, without using the car. I have a car here in the garage. It's there when I need it. I wouldn't give it up. But on the other hand, when I see gas prices go up, I grimace and shake my head. But I realize that I put a half a tank of gas in every 3 weeks, versus some people who might put a half a tank of gas in every 3 days or something.
For him, biking is not just about the budget.
It's more the exercise, it's more the gratification of knowing that I can ride, that I can get from point A to point B on my own. power.
Experts say the number of Chicago bike commuters has doubled in the last 5 years. Besides those who ride to work, there are also more Chicagoans who use their bikes for longer trips.
Actually, I was just speaking to a friend of mine, and she was looking for a route to get to Zion Beach, up just south of the border by Wisconsin. And so we were able to look at the map, find a trail, and then access to the beach from the trail. And this was including both her husband and a bike trailer with a dog. So certainly, it's more than just biking to work or maybe just biking around town.
People are also riding more public transit. The Chicago Transit Authority says its total ridership last year reached a 20-year high. Experts say Chicago commuters can save more than $12,000 per year just by using public transit. But there's another way people can also use to save. AAJA car sharing, which arrived in Chicago from Europe 10 years ago, promotes driving fuel-efficient cars even without claiming ownership. It started with several hundred members, and now there are more than 18,000.
It's a huge benefit for people who, have less money, because it's a great way to save a lot. Because to own and operate a car in Chicago costs over $7,000 a year, and an AAJA member is going to spend less than half of that.
Fagan says about 72% of AAJA members have either sold their cars or postponed their decision to buy one. Meanwhile, they have increased their use of other kinds of transportation.
Some people join and they see it as mobility insurance. So they don't use the cars very often. They just think it's a good idea to be a member, and that kind of gives them the freedom in a way to use public transit and walking, biking, because they know they've got this backup.
There are even more ways commuters can save. Many employers are encouraging employees to use pre-tax dollars to pay for public transportation. Some even allow employees to work remotely from home. These small things added up can make a big difference. For Medill Reports, I'm Qixin Wang.